Hi, I'm Carlo from MediaMeter. Welcome to our video learning series for V3, the newest major update to MediaMeter. Let's start with a quick overview of the different parts of the mentions feed. Up top, you have a set of filters that will help you further parse your topic buckets. You have filters for media source, country, tonality, and others, as well as a full text search box. Below that, you have a timeline of stories for the currently selected topic bucket, as well as a forecast for the volume of stories based on a moving average. And down here, you have a table with all of the stories found for the topic bucket, along with various data points for these stories. Let's take a look at each in turn. See how to set up your topic buckets, your media sources, and your date range. The mentions feed always displays the contents of one topic bucket. This is set through this button on the left. If you click here, you will be shown a list of the different topic buckets that you have set up, organized into categories. On the right, you will see the keywords that make up each of these topic buckets. Simply click on the topic bucket that you want to explore, and then click on Apply to make a selection. The chart as well as the mentions feed table will update to reflect this change. Next, we have filters for tonality and sentiment. Tonality refers to the choice of words in a story, and whether these convey positive, neutral, or negative ideas or emotions. This is algorithmically determined by a model that is constantly improving. But you will also have the option of manually tagging the tonality of stories. Sentiment, on the other hand, refers to the brand impact of a story. If it is good for the brand's reputation, then a story should be labeled positive. We also have filters for country, story value range, and a few smaller but still useful filters. The country filter refers to the home country of the publications that you want included in your feed. Normally, this would be the same as your home country, but you will also have the option of subscribing to other countries. Story value range, meanwhile, has to do with a new metric that we developed for version 3. Story value is a measure of potential brand impact, with 1 as the lowest value and 10 as the highest. We'll talk a bit more about story value in a separate video, but this filter can be used to see the distribution of story value in the topic bucket, and then show only the stories that fall within a certain range of values. You use these sliders down here, or these boxes, make your selection, and then you just need to click on Apply. And then finally, we have filters for the presence of a byline, presence of images, and prime time, not prime time for broadcast clippings. The mentions feed table shows you all of the stories that are included in your topic bucket and date range, with each story occupying one row. You will also be shown useful data points on each of these stories. On the upper part of the table, we have various ways of sorting the articles and posts. By default, stories will be sorted by story value and date. But you can also sort them just by story value, or by date, or by AVE. There are also toggles for seen stories, bookmarked stories, and archived stories, which are just different options that you have of organizing all of this content so you can easily find the most important ones. And then you have a Download Excel button. The table itself is organized into columns. And let's now see what each of these different columns mean. Story value, of course, refers to just that, the story value of an article. Again, this is a measure of the potential brand impact of that article from 1 to 10. Here we can see that the top story for this bucket has a story value of 8. Mentions, meanwhile, counts the number of times your keywords were mentioned in the article. AVE is add value equivalency, and this is calculated using an industry standard formula. And then the excerpt column shows you the headline of the story and its publication. And then we also have columns for the author, topic emphasis, and date. If you click on a row, you will not only mark that story as seen, but you will also be shown even more useful statistics and information about the story. This includes an expanding excerpt, as well as a link to the original or to a PDF, graphs for story value and AVE, and here you can see a comparison of this story with other stories in the bucket. And also you have buttons that you can use to set tonality and sentiment. And then below that, we have some information on the author of the story, including author score, which we will talk about next time, and the count of the keywords that came out in the story. And finally, we also have the named entities that were recognized by our entity extraction engine. So all of these were named in the article. Two other things that you can use to organize your stories are groups and bookmarks, as well as some batch processing options. So if you hover over the row of a story, you will find that you can archive the post, you can send it as an email, or you can open it in a new tab. If you click on Open in New Tab, you will be brought to another page which shows you further analytics on the story, as well as a PDF scan of that story. You also have some batch processing options. So if you use the checkbox, then you can assign multiple stories to a group using this button over here, or you can bookmark them or archive them. Groups act like folders. You can create them using this button over here. So you just need to click on New and then name your group, Group 1, for example. And then you can assign stories to that group and recall them also using the same button. So for example, we can assign these over here to Test Group. And if you click on Test Group, then you will be shown just those stories. And there you have the mentions feed. As you've seen, it's a very easy to use but still sophisticated and very powerful way of processing and analyzing your stories. Join us next time as we discuss the dashboard and other features of MediaMeter version 3. See you in the next one.